Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this time I'm on the River Wye. I'm down in Hereford, and just behind me is Hereford town. In this direction is a treatment works, so it's quite noisy, but this is allegedly quite a good stretch of the river. I've been into the local tackle shop, a place called Woody's, and he's given me the lowdown and suggested that this is a good place to start trotting afloat for some chub and maybe some barbel if I'm lucky, although the barbel haven't really been coming out just at the minute, but we're hopefully going to get some chub. Now today I'm using a new rod, and I'm going to tell you all about that later on because it's a special rod. So the plan is I've got some luncheon meat, I've got some pellets, so we'll just see what these barbel and chub are interested in. I'm going to wade out a bit, and the float I hope is going to just go down that crease on the far side. That's the plan. So that's what we're going to get up to this afternoon. It's just about 1 o'clock now, so it's a nice peg. It's not too far from the car, so I'm going to have a fish here for as long as I can, really. You can fish into dusk, but I'll probably fish till about well, we'll not put a time on it. We'll not put a time on it. There's always one last cast, isn't there? Okay, I'm going to get myself sorted out, and I'll bring you back when we've got a bit more action, and I'll tell you about that rod because it's quite an interesting story. Okay, so this is my first cast with this new rod and reel setup. Just hold that back a little bit. Definitely think we've got, yeah, it's a 6-gram float, a Drennan domed float. I'm working on the depth. I'm not sure what depth we've got at the minute. Doesn't seem to be pulling under. I'm just holding it back a bit just to see what happens. Not quite in that crease, to be honest, so I need to cast further out. That dome float's quite good. I can actually see that from here. I've just got a little piece of pepperoni on at the minute. Now that may or may not be the bait to use today. I've got some pellets with me, halibut pellets, that might be fun, and I've got some meat, so we'll see how we get on with that. So I'm just kind of learning how to cast with this rod and reel setup. Obviously not like that. That's better. A little bit further over now. So I'm just going to control that float a bit. I want it to move down slower than the surface water so that the bait underneath is travelling roughly at the same speed as the water, because the surface moves quicker. Well, so far rod feels very nice. I'll let you know when we've had a fish on it. We need to christen it today. I can always wade a little bit further out, but my preference is to not be too deep. I think after my fall in January I'm taking a lot more care over where I fish, how I fish. Anything with big steep banks, and that's me out of it. I'm not over keen on that. Okay, that's better. Just don't want to put it in the bank on the opposite side, but that's much more down the crease, is that. Hold it back a little bit. I may well put a bit more depth on. It doesn't seem to be bouncing on the bottom. I don't think I'm in the zone of the fish just now. Let's increase the depth of that float by a bit. Oh, is that? Yes, I think it's a kingfisher. Right at the end of my rod opposite. You may not be able to see it, there's a kingfisher there. Oh, brilliant. I'm pretty sure you're not going to see that on the GoPro, but my goodness, kingfisher. Nice. Love that. Increase the hook length a bit. Well, I've increased the amount of line I've got between my hook and my float. That's what I mean to say. and I'm trying to get right over there in that crease, just snagging up a little bit there. That's it, we're right on it now. You can hear me blowing because I got a fly on my face. I'm enjoying using this new Abu Garcia 506 Mark II. It really does work quite nicely for trotting, getting beyond the extent of my vision down there. So my first bait I've got on is the pepperoni because it really does stay on the hook, and I thought that might be a good plan just for checking things out. And we'll swap over to a bit of meat in a minute. There's certainly lots of flies here. I'll be doing the Australian wave in a bit. I suspect it's that water treatment works. That's a posh word for a sewage farm, isn't it? Hope they don't pump it out in this river. I bet they do. So I've had a few runs through with the pepperoni, but nothing doing. So I've changed to some luncheon meat now. Give that a try. Yeah, I think it just shallows up over there. That's twice the... just starts to get out of my range of sight and the float just disappears, so I think it shallows up just there. Let's check we got some bait. Oh no, we ain't got any hook. But I wonder if we had an inquiry. So let's put another bit of meat on. What I tend to do is just poke this all the way through. It's a bit big, I think, that one. I just buried the hook in it and see how we get on. Before I just put the hook through and turned it. I've just pushed it in this time. I'm using a Drennan wide gate hook. Not that I'm marketing anybody's stuff here, but just telling you what I'm using. If there are fish down there, I'm going to just keep my eye on that float and be a bit more sharp about lifting into it if that float disappears. I thought it was shallowing up, but it could be we're into the fish zone, I don't know. So what I've been doing is push the hook right the way through and just turn it a little bit, and don't know, maybe the hook point's hidden. Maybe just leave it like that, perhaps. Don't know, might change the size of my cubes. Good, still got the bait on. Shouldn't worry too much about bait coming off, but it's always nice when it's there. That was a lousy cast, Phil. I'll let it go down anyway. Yeah, we're on a shallow bit. That's right on the bottom. Asking to get snagged, I reckon. Okay, I'm almost down by those willow trees. That's it, can't see the float anymore because of my eyes. So just down where we thought that snag was is just where I've got a bite. So I don't know whether you can see this on, but the rod is getting nicely bent. Let's see what we've got. Hopefully it's a nice fish. It's not putting a massive fight up, but it's a fish, I think. Either that, I've got a great big clump of weed. I don't know. No, I can feel it nodding. Yeah, we got a fish here. I'm going to head towards the bank where my net is. It's looking like a chub with that big mouth. Let's have a look at this one. Right, so that's got the hook out. So here we go. That's my first chub. It's not a big one, but the first chub of the trip and first fish on that lovely new rod of mine. Beautiful. Nice. Let's see if you can see this. You see it going? Nice. That was a great result to get a chub. My first one on that rod. Very pleased with that. So trotting, that was used in the luncheon meat and just holding the float back. So very pleased. Very pleased. So going to try and get some more now. So just had some kayaks going through. Actually they're canoes, not kayaks. Friendly folks. I thought they were supposed to go pointy end first, but they were going sideways on down the river. There's something about actually getting the first fish and getting rid of the blank. Somebody said it's the monkey off the shoulder and all that. But yeah, it helps to know that either you're getting a bit lucky or the technique is working. One or the other. Now this is the first time I've used this chest mount, so just have to see how we're getting on with this. Hope you can see what's happening. Right, so we're into the next fish. Came in the same sort of area. I actually thought I'd snagged on the bottom just then. I think it'll be a similar size. Wow, lovely job trotting. I love it. It's staying in that flow. There he is, he's coming. Just going to head my way back carefully, walking backwards in waders on slippy rocks. Not a great idea, Phil. Oh, he's pulling, he's pulling. I've got this reel on backwind now, just in case it decides to go for one. Like it is, yeah. Might be something a little bit better, you know. Don't know. Wonder what that is. Is it? It's going to be a chub, isn't it? Don't know. Seems to be fighting a bit different. Yeah, it's a I think it is. Yes, chub. Hang on. Maybe. I think. I'm not brilliant with the fish ID from this distance, but yeah, I think it's oh, come on, don't mess around with it. I'm trying to film as well. Lovely. Guess what? It's a barbel. Second fish of the trip. So I do hope that my chest cam is getting this. Yeah, it's only it's only little, isn't it? Hey, it's a barbel. It is a barbel. So one chub, one barbel. Let's get this back. I'm just going to put him in the net and let him rest a bit. Looks like I got my hook stuck in my net. Oh, dearie dee. What are you doing, Phil? Come on. So one last look. Super. Lovely barbel. Let's let him back. Let's let him go. He's got plenty of life in him. Is he going to swim out the net? And he's away. Perfect. Shot off like a rocket. I have to say, I'm not sure how the filming's going, but little barbel. First barbel of my trip. Yeah! Okay, they need to get a bit bigger, but a barbel's a barbel. So very pleased with that. That was on the luncheon meat, similar sort of area where I caught the chub. So we'll send that bait down a few more times and see what we get. Brilliant. Loving this. Well, that's fantastic. Fantastic. A chub and a barbel. So target species, brilliant. Only small, but hey, barbel's a barbel. So that's good. So if anyone wants to come here, this is the Hereford District Angling Association, and it's a day ticket water. And I paid £10 for the ticket. You need cash. So a £10 ticket in the tackle shop, in Woody's Tackle Shop in Hereford. It's in Google Maps. Again, not advertising anybody, but the guy was really helpful. Just hit the bottom there. I could feel that the fish was being different. That one just hung about in the centre of, well, I say hung about, it was in the centre of the river, whereas the chub wanted to dart to the side, and I think that's characteristic of them. The chub go for cover and the barbel hang, you know, with their shape, their torpedo shape. I think they just hold in the centre of the flow there. Just on small piece of luncheon meat really. So just push that through, try and get it out the other side, and then I can twist it round. There he is. Pull it through and just twist it a bit. Tends to stay on the hook a bit longer. It's a bit soft. Don't know whether you can put a bit of salt on the luncheon meat to toughen it up a bit. Sort of do that the day before, don't know. I don't have any salt with me. I'm travelling, I'm touring really. This year I brought the neoprene waders, because last year I had the little thin ones. Don't know what you call them. They're not really Gore-Tex, but you know, the thin fabric vinyl things. And I was deadly cold on the. We got in the water at something like about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. By about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, my teeth were chattering. I couldn't really make much of a conversation because my jaw didn't really want to work. I was just really cold, really cold. So unfortunately I didn't fish what's known as witching hour into dark or into dusk. Come the evening I'm ready for lying down, and I've probably had enough by then, to be honest with you, even though it is probably the better part of the fishing. It's quite greasy, this luncheon meat. Trying not to get grease all over the new rod. Not easy. Now, I was going to tell you all about this rod and how I came by it. So if you look back through my videos, there's one where I caught the ferox trout, the 7-pound ferox on Loch Oar with my mate Douglas from Piscator UK. Now, unbeknown to me, Douglas sent a photograph of the catch, me and holding the fish up, to the Scottish Sun, and they have a catch of the week competition, and on that particular week there was my photograph in the Scottish Sun, and I won. And what I won was the £150 Daiwa voucher, and I put that money towards this rod, which is a Daiwa Connoisseur Pro Match 15p. And I wanted a 15-foot rod, particularly for this float fishing and this trotting on this kind of situation. And this is the first time since, was it last year? Yeah, last year, when we caught that ferox, that I've had the opportunity to use it. So a big shout out to my buddy Douglas, Piscator UK. If you haven't looked at his channel, do go have a look at it, it's great. And if it wasn't for him sending the photograph off, I wouldn't have got the £150 voucher, and I wouldn't be fishing with such a nice rod today. That's the story behind getting the rod. Oh, I couldn't believe it, I couldn't believe it. Terrific, what a mate. Thanks Douglas, you're a buddy. I think what I'd also like to do is use this rod for trotting for grayling on the River Nith, and I know Douglas does a lot of that. So I'm going to pick his brains and maybe join up with him in November time, or whenever is grayling season on that particular river. I think it's November. sounds a bit cold to me. From what I've seen, people stand in the river and get freezing, and I get cold very quickly, so I don't last too long at that. But anyway, we're going to give it a go. Right, come on, we need more than a couple of fish. So I'm still fishing with the meat, because it's been the meat that was successful. I have tried a little bit of pepperoni. Stays on the hook better, but I've not had a bite on that. I'll give that a go tomorrow, because I'm back on the Y tomorrow. So that would be really good, a different stretch. The sun's come out, the colour's dropping out of the water as I've been here. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. I'm just the new kid on the block here, I don't really know. I've spoken to people who said that the barbel have been quite hard to catch this year. Most people are saying they're a bit late feeding this year, but there are some barbel being caught. I've caught one. Oh, but yeah, nice barbel. There have been a few being caught. Carrying on with the same as what I've been doing, just going across over onto that crease, holding the float back a little bit, and that seems to give the fish time to go and have a look at it rather than it zooming straight past their nose. So that's what we're up to. Do hope we're getting some decent footage from this here camera. Hard to tell what angle it's looking at, so to speak. So I fished here for a couple of hours and I've had the 2 fish. And I'm itching, I think, to move swims. So I know there's something a little bit further down the river near some rapids, just before some rapids, and also just after the rapids. That's what I've been told. It's a bit of a gamble really, because it's now about 4 o'clock, and I'm hoping that nobody else comes in this swim later on, because I might want to come back here and give it another try as the sun goes down a bit. I don't want to fish too long because I've got an early start for tomorrow, my next day on the Y. But this is unfinished business because it's lovely here, absolutely fantastic. A barbel, a chub, and I've seen a kingfisher. Terrific, absolutely terrific. Hope that sun's not in your eyes. I think the decision's made that I'm going to go and have a look at the other swim. Because I've run a float down here a lot, and I think if there were more fish, a lot more fish, if they're holding up there, I'd have been more frequent bites. So I think I've done what I can in this swim. Right, gonna move down this way, so I'll bring you back in a bit. So I think this is the swim that they mean. It certainly looks quite deep. I don't think you'll be wading here because it shelves off quite quickly. I reckon that's quite deep there, so I'm going to stay on the bank on this one. I'll investigate it just a bit further up here and see if there's a bit of a shelf going out that we can cast from. Just look at those houses behind me. Fisherman's dream, I reckon. No, it didn't take too long to walk here from the other swim, which is good news because I can head back there quickly if I feel like it. I've only got sort of light roving gear with me today, which just show you here. I just have my tackle box. I've got some bait in the bucket, my rod and the net. Quite lightweight really for popping up and down the bank. I've probably got more stuff in that box than I really need. There's ledgering gear and everything really, but enough to get us going. So let's get some bait in the water. Let's see if we can pick up a fish from here. Okay, so I'm into a fish. I just cast towards those willows opposite, and yeah, we got a fish on. I think this will be a chub. Well, good one for moving swim. Yeah, little chub. Nice. Let's net him. Okay. Lovely job. Just going to leave him in the net there a minute because think we need a disgorger on that one. He's really gone for it. Okay, so again, I hope you can see that. Another little chub. So it was a good moving swim just in that bush over there. I just took a guess at the depth. Float bobbed under then. I think I missed that, turning the camera on. I'll bet I need to put more bait on. I do. That last chub had really swallowed the meat. Just as an experiment, I'm going to try some of this pepperoni again, because you can get it hooked on. It's quite resilient and you can get the hook quite proud, which I think may be what I need here. So I just turned the camera off to save the battery, and I immediately get myself into something else, another fish. Probably another chub, I think. Now I put the pepperoni on, so this one's on the pepperoni. Yep, it's a chub, similar size, but chub's a chub. Into the net you come. And there we go, another lovely fish. Just move that camera up a bit. I think you'll be able to see him. Very nice. Chub, off we go. Just moved a bit further up the river. Just keep wandering up and down, roving really, because I'm picking up the odd chub, but nothing in any numbers, so I don't think, you know, I'm hitting a big shoal of them or anything. It seems to get a couple of them and then they disappear. So just keep moving the swim. I think I'm just hitting bottom there. I think it'll hit bottom again just about there. No, it's going through this time. So it just goes down towards that bush where I've caught the last two, but I thought coming a bit higher up, get a bit more of a drift at it. Maybe it'd look a bit more natural. Who knows? Alternating between pepperoni and luncheon meat at the minute. I've had 4 fish, 3 chub, 1 barbel. Happy days. I'm pleased with that. So I think I have a couple more casts here and I might wander back up to the other swim. Just walking across here where they've cut the grass. Smells lovely. Smells just like hay. Smells like summer. My goodness. So I've come back to the first swim. I went down the river and had a go at 2 different places. I caught a couple of chub, which I'm very pleased about. Enjoyed doing that. I've decided to come back here. It's a little bit easier for trotting because you can wade out on this shallow bit, take it down on the deep bit. The other bit was okay, but it was a bit limited, I think. But I got 2 fish all the same, and I had 2 fish here, so what's the difference? Don't know, just like it here. Bit of cloud cover's come over, so it's getting a little bit darker. Maybe that'll encourage the fish to feed. It's just after 5 now. I'll give it another hour, maybe 2. Probably should give it longer, but I do have things to do. Get ready for tomorrow, because I'm fishing again tomorrow and it's an early start. Yeah, lovely job. So here's a question for you, and you can put the answers in the comments there. What do you have a preferred way in which you put the meat on the hook? Do you just push it straight in like that, or do you try and push it all the way through and put a turn on it? What do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. I've been doing it both ways today, and I can't perceive any difference. Into another fish, right down there by those rocks. Just feel it nodding. I think this may well be another chub. I think that feels like, yes, got the mouth of a chub. Always a bit sketchy walking backwards, but fortunately there's not too many big rocks here. This was caught on the luncheon meat, about third or fourth run down after I'd moved the swim. In the net you come. Yes. Oh, don't go just yet, you've got to have your photo taken. Come on, behave. Yeah, not huge, bit raggy on the tail, that one, but nice. I'm chuffed just catching these, they're really nice. I thought I was into another fish, but it may be a snag. I thought I felt a fish on that, but I'm now snagged. That's a nuisance. Let's just give it a bit of slack then. See if it moves. So the moment of truth, what did I get back? Great, Olive's come back. It's just the hook. So I got the hook link, but not the hook. Got most of the gear back. Anyway, there we go. Let's get another hook link on and let's give it another try. Brilliant. Just setting things up again, I realised that the float I'm using is a Dave Harrell Mega Stick 6 gram. I bought these after I last came down to the Y, because they seem to be good floats. Wire stem onto the 6 ounce Olivet. So yeah, just put a new hook link on. It happens, you know, you're fishing close to the bottom, that's where the fish are, so you will lose a bit of something. Just looked on the packet, it's an 018 hook link and I've got 023 line on. The plan is that I hopefully get my Dave Harrell and my Olivet back when I get a snag. That's what I want. So I've got a little bit more luncheon meat on. Let's give it a few more casts. Right, well, I've had a great day. We've caught some fish, we caught some chub, we caught that little barbel. It's been a lovely way to christen the new Daiwa Connoisseur Pro rod. Again, thank you very much, Douglas, for putting the photograph in the paper, and we got that. So it's been nice to use that for the first time today. I know that this sort of time of night and early evening is a good time to catch barbel and things, but I'm actually feeling quite tired at the end of the day. I need to get back, get some food, get some stuff sorted ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's an early start and back on the Y, another beat that will remain nameless. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I hope you come and join me for the next episode on the River Wye, which is going to be for me tomorrow, for you a little bit later on when I've edited the video. So I've had a fantastic day. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've caught some fish. I hope I've actually captured it, because I've not used that chest cam thing before, and I hope we've got some good pictures. If we haven't got a picture of the barbel, I'm going to be pretty upset, but I'll review the footage later on. So thanks for joining me. It's been great. Lovely day ticket place on the River Wye. That's it from me. Tight lines from me. I've had a great time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.